Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're the place you come to make sense of those really dense sources you send our way.
We break them down.
Exactly. And today, wow, we're going way back, like almost 3,000 years back. We're looking at this small piece of clay. Sounds unimpressive, maybe?
Deceptively so.
Right. But it might just be the oldest world map we have. And, well, maybe even the first treasure map.
That's the intriguing part. We're talking about the Babylonian map of the world, the Imago Mundi.
Image of the world. Makes sense.
Yep. And our mission today is to unpack what this ancient drawing tells us about how Babylonians saw their world.
Okay.
And maybe more surprisingly, how it connects to one of the biggest stories ever told, the flood story. Provides real backing for it, potentially.
It's amazing how much info fits on something so small. What are the specs?
It's tiny, like a smartphone, basically. 12.2 by 8.2 centimeters.
Wow.
Clay tablet, Neo-Babylonian era, so roughly 9th century BC. Found in Sippar.
And Sippar was important.
Yeah. Hugely important. Major religious and intellectual center. It had this famous library. So this map wasn't just, scribbled by anyone. It's a scholarly artifact.
Okay, so let's dive in. What are we actually looking at on this tablet? The river stands out immediately.
Oh, yeah. The Euphrates dominates. It runs right down the center.
North to south.
North to south, yeah. It's schematic, not perfectly scaled, But the river is life. For them, everything revolved around the Euphrates.
Their whole world, basically.
Pretty much. And they labeled things carefully. Babylon itself is there in the northern half.
Okay.
Then down south, you see Susa, capital of Elam, so they knew their neighbors. Even labeled where the river ends, Swamp and Outflow. Pretty specific.
But what about other places mentioned, like Urartu or Habban? Are they accurate?
Well, Urartu think ancient Armenia or eastern Turkey that's shown northeast. That's generally okay. But Habban, the Kassite capital, that's shown northwest, which is wrong. So it suggests their immediate world. Pretty clear. Further out, things get a bit fuzzier, maybe based on rumor.
Okay, so you have this central known area, Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
What's around it? Looks like a big circle.
Yeah, the original donut, left slightly. It's the Bitter River. Or just the ocean.
Bitter River.
Yeah, that's what they called it. It encircles everything they knew for sure. It's a boundary.
Between the known and the unknown.
Exactly. A physical border, but also like a cosmological one, separating the human world from, well, the mythical stuff.
That's fascinating. So what is beyond the Bitter River?
That's where it gets strange. You see these triangles sticking out. 7 or maybe 8 of them.
Like spikes.
Kind of like spikes, yeah.
Yeah.
They're labeled Nagu foreign regions. Maybe mountains, maybe just imagined places, legends.
Why triangles, though?
Good question. Maybe just representing the jagged edges of the world, places far beyond where, ordinary people didn't go.
And this wasn't a one-off idea.
No, that's the thing. There's another fragment, VAT 12772. It's way older, like 2,000 years older. And it shows a very similar idea. Central land, circular ocean, pointy bits. So this view of the world was really, really old and stable for them.
Okay, hold on, because here's where our sources say it gets really interesting. This map isn't just, here's our world. It might be pointing to something specific, something legendary.
Right. This is largely down to the work of Dr. Irving Finkel, the curator at the British Museum, big cuneiform guy.
Yeah, I know the name.
Well, Finkel argues this map isn't just illustrating the world, it's actually confirming, even sort of pointing towards the Babylonian flood story with authority.
Okay, how does a map do that? A map of places?
Because the story is tied to places on their map. Think about Noah's Ark.
Right.
The Babylonian hero was Utnapishtim, even earlier, Zisudra. But the core story, same idea. God, or the gods, say, build a big boat, massive flood's coming.
Okay.
And crucially, in these stories, where does the boat end up?
On a mountain, right? Mount Ararat in the Bible.
Exactly. On a mountain beyond the known world, beyond that bitter river.
So the map shows the boundary, and the story says the destination is past it.
You got it. The geography sets the stage. And the language backs it up, too.
How so?
Well, the name Noah in Hebrew literally means rest.
Oh, like the ark coming to rest on the mountains, Genesis 8?
Precisely. It all ties together. These stories, these names, the geography, they echo each other across cultures and time. Suggests a really old shared tradition.
But for ages, people just saw this map as, like, interesting cosmology, not a literal guide. What changed?
The aha moment, mid-90s. a missing piece.
Okay.
Yeah, one of Dr. Finkel's students, Edith Horsley, she found this tiny, tiny fragment.
And it matched the map.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
It matched the uppermost triangle. Triangle 5, they call it.
So what did it say? What was on this missing piece?
Just 2 words, basically, in cuneiform.
The Great Wall.
Wait.
The Great Wall. Not just Foreign Region 5.
Nope. The Great Wall. Suddenly, that triangle isn't just some vague mythical out there.
It's a landmark, something specific you'd pass on a journey.
Exactly. And remember those triangles, those nagus.
Oh.
They're read in sequence, usually counterclockwise.
Right.
So you follow the sequence towards Triangle 5, you hit the Great Wall, and where does that point you on the map?
Towards the northeast section.
Towards the northeast section, which is explicitly labeled
Urartu.
Urartu, which, as you know, is the Babylonian and Akkadian word for
Ararat, the place from the Bible.
Undeniably. So you put it all together. The known world, the Bitter River boundary, the triangles beyond, a specific landmark Great Wall on the route leading directly to Urartu.
It looks like instructions.
It really starts to look like a roadmap. Not just, this is the world, but here's how you get somewhere. Somewhere specific.
To the Ark's resting place.
That's the strong implication. The source material even spells it out like directions. Cross the Euphrates, travel 7 leagues over a great wall up to Urartu.
Like literal directions.
It suggests that for the map makers, this wasn't myth. It was geography. Directions to a historical site.
And there's more, right? Something about the specific word used for the boat.
Yes. Crucial detail. On the map, the vessel isn't just called boat. It uses a very specific, unique word. The Parsiktu vessel.
Okay. Is that used elsewhere?
Only one other place we know of. The famous Akkadian Ark Tablet.
The one with the instructions for building the Ark.
That's the one. The fact that the map uses the exact same unique term for the vessel as the tablet describing its construction, well, that links them directly. Same tradition, same specific knowledge.
Okay, so let's pull back. What's the big takeaway here?
The core insight. For these ancient Babylonians, the people who made and used this map, Noah or Utnapishtim, and the Ark landing on a mountain, it wasn't a fairy tale.
It was real, like historically, geographically real.
It was matter of fact, as the source puts it. So real, they put directions to it on their world map, using specific technical language for the vessel.
That completely changes how seriously we should take these flood narratives in ancient history.
It suggests they took them very seriously indeed. And the source material connects this historical seriousness to the reason for the flood, according to Genesis.
Right, the biblical context. Saving the righteous Noah from judgment on a wicked world.
Exactly. And the source then goes into a specific theological interpretation of why that generation faced wrath, linking it to Genesis 6.
Okay, how does the source interpret that?
Well, reporting neutrally here, the source discusses the idea that it wasn't just moral corruption, but involved issues of lineage purity. It talks about Noah being genetically pure in his generations, drawing a contrast with interpretations involving fallen angel interbreeding mentioned in Genesis 6.
So a specific theological reading of the cause.
Right, that's the source's perspective. And then it pivots. It uses the map's perceived historical weight to suggest this whole event is a pattern.
A pattern for the future.
That's the connection the source makes. It suggests similar conditions, similar separation between righteous and corrupted lines will precede the return of Jesus, who it frames as the greater Noah.
And the Ark. Is there a parallel?
Yes.
Yeah.
The source presents the idea that just as there was a physical ark of escape then, there's now a spiritual one provided through Jesus's body.
With the escape mechanism being?
What the source identifies as the rapture event. So it connects the ancient mapped fact of the ark to a future theological expectation of escape. It's using the map's authority to bolster that narrative.
That's quite a journey. From this little clay map focused on the Euphrates, all the way out past the edge of their world, following what might be directions to the Ark itself. It really shows how literally they took this story.
Absolutely. Engraved in clay.
So a final thought for you, our listener, to take away from this deep dive.
Well, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? If these ancient map makers thought a story we often see as myth was real enough to put actual directions to its location on their maps, what things today, stories, beliefs, maybe even scientific or technological ideas that we currently treat as just metaphor, or maybe entertainment, or pure fantasy, what might future archaeologists find in our records and realize, wow, they actually took this as literal geographical fact?
That's definitely something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Imago Mundi.
See you next time.